Hey, I'm Paul Blaze from Blackguard, and you're watching Brutally Delicious with Bruce Moore.
Marcus and Rob from Shattered Sun here, and we're pretty much known for doing some big luxurious barbecues, but we know how it is. Times are tough right now, especially for a band on the go like us. So we're gonna make our quick go-to meal that's gonna feed about 10 people with $50.
You might even get leftovers.
Might even get leftovers. So we're gonna do some skirt steak or beef fajitas. We're gonna do some sausage, some tortillas. We're gonna do some rice. And my man Rob here is gonna make you his world famous, unofficial world famous guacamole.
Yep.
So stay tuned and we'll show you how to do it, man. Cheers. All right, guys, first step of doing this barbecue is you wanna get your meat marinated. That should sit the longest while you're setting everything else up. So basically we just got a bowl. It's gonna be doing a really simple marinade. A bowl, we got Italian salad dressing, Uncle Chris seasoning, and we got our skirt steak. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna season it first. Before you put the salad dressing on, you wanna get it coated with seasoning. Now this seasoning has everything in it. It's got granulated garlic, it's got parsley, salt, pepper, paprika, everything in it. You wanna get it real coated. The reason I like to use this seasoning is because it's got everything in it. You don't gotta mess around with anything else. And it works out quick and easy. All right, so you got everything taken care of with the seasoning. Right now you're gonna put the Italian dressing on it. Now you're gonna practically use the whole bottle. This is gonna keep them juicy on the pit. You wanna get it all up in there. Little technique that I like to do, I like to get each piece of skirt steak and roll it up so it sits in its juices. Boom, there you go. Marinated, set up. Stick it in the fridge while you get everything else ready. Now my man's gonna show you how to make some of his guacamole.
We're gonna go ahead and get started on some guac. We got some big ass avocados, along with some cream cheese, our onions, tomatoes, bell peppers, cilantro, and tomatoes with our various seasonings and our lemon juice. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and start off by scooping in the avocados in the bowl. Y'all gonna learn today. Alright, let's put a little bit of veggies right now. I like to put extra veggies because there isn't enough avocado, so usually what it does is makes it seem like there's more than there really is. Alright, this is onions, tomatoes, cilantro, jalapenos, and bell peppers. That's not looking too appealing right now. Just wait. Put a little bit of lime juice. So we don't really measure anything in Shattered Sun. It's all about eyeballing stuff. Use your better judgment. Do my black peppercorn medley. A little garlic. Let's put some salt. Bam. Final ingredient is cream cheese. If you want to be health conscious, go and get yourself the 1/3 less fat cream cheese. Now just gotta mix it all together. Now it's time for that long stretch. A little bit of South Texas love, a little bit of that right there. Look at that sizzle. And bam, just like that. Award-winning guac. Try that. I guarantee your mom can't make it that good.
All right, so what we're gonna do now, I'm gonna put Rob's guac in the ice box, let it set up. I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna show you my technique on how to get that pit started. Let's do it. I'm gonna show you guys how to properly start a fire, because a lot of people seem to have problems with that. So in here, I'm gonna burn lump coal mesquite charcoal. They just don't like using charcoal biscuits anymore. The lump coal mesquite burns hotter, burns longer. So one of the most important things you need to do, have a good set of gloves. I already had this thing pre-soaked with lighter fluid over the top. You want to let it soak while you're getting everything prepared inside. So what I like to do is I like to mix it around. Make sure you get everything coated. Everybody's got a little bit of lighter fluid. Give it another little bit more over the top. Make sure you get all the bag around it coated. All right, you're gonna let it sit for another 5 minutes and you're gonna light it. All right, right now, what we're gonna do, we got everything pre-soaked. I mixed it up. I told you make sure you have a good pair of gloves. You don't wanna burn your hands. Normally I'd have matches to do this, but you know, we're Shattered Sun, so we're gonna do it with a lighter. And it usually just takes a little bit. Now this thing's getting hot. Make sure you have yourself a cold beverage. It's cold outside, but it's drinking weather. See, with fajitas, they cook real quick. So you want the pit scorching hot. It also sanitizes it when you bring it up that high. So there's a difference between grilling and smoking. I do a lot of smoking, but obviously we don't have 12 to 18 hours to be putting meat on between gigs, between rehearsals, stuff like that. So I like to cook at high heat when I'm grilling. Fajitas are perfect. 5 minutes on each side, and then you pull them off, let them rest, and they're all good.
We got some leftover vegetables from everything. Got some bell peppers, a little bit of onion, more bell pepper.
Crushed red pepper.
All kinds of peppers in here.
We basically like to use this as a condiment. Just put a little bit of olive oil, some seasoning, wrap it up, throw it on the pit while everything's cooking.
To get that saute going on.
Yeah, and then when you get out, you got grilled onions, bell peppers, everything to put on your taco.
All right, we start with some extra light olive oil, because watching them calories. Throw that all up in there, get all up in the bone. You can throw a little bit of French's Worcestershire sauce.
You make it out the way you want.
So you say it how you want to. Don't let anyone tell you how to live. All right, put a little bit of that, get a little bit of that smoky, earthy aroma. And use our meat seasoning.
Uncle Chris goes on literally everything down here.
I put the stuff on my eggs.
Oh yeah.
Protein shakes in the morning. Everything. Well, then maybe just a little slap of some salt.
Gotta sweat those onions.
Yep, and a little finishing touch.
Lime juice.
Lime juice, baby. Get all up in that. Look at that.
See, the thing we like to do is use, the ingredients that were left over or, from the other dishes. Try and put something together. We've been doing this for a while. It's kind of like a condiment. So we're gonna take you outside of the pit. It should be ready right now. We're gonna throw the meat on. We're gonna show you exactly how to do this. So follow us out there. Once again, we're gonna take you through how to do our meal. The fajitas, the sausage, our grilled peppers. So what we're gonna do first, before anything, and this is something that when I've shown other people, they're like, what the hell are you doing? But this is something that my grandfather, did. This is something my father did, my uncles. I learned this from family. I think everybody down here in South Texas does it. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna get a half an onion right here. You're gonna basically sanitize your grill.
That sizzle, baby.
Oh yeah. You're gonna get that going right there. Get it all on that grill. It gives that grill some flavor. So we leave it there on the side, kind of give it some smoke. We're gonna put our grilled peppers in right here in the very corner. All right, now I'm gonna show you guys how to do these fajitas. You wanna put the fat down. So right here, that's the fat side. So you're gonna put that fat side down. See, a little trick that I learned is not to put them on flat, but to scrunch them up. That way they stay juicy. Nice and scrunchy right there. Fat side down, remember scrunch them up. All right, so a little bit of extra marinade. You want it to go right there on top of the beef.
That made it like a glaze.
Exactly. Okay. Okay, now with fajitas, everybody has a different method of doing them. Everybody says leave them on longer, don't flip, whatever. I'm doing it the way, you know, my father taught me and my grandfather taught me. It's, you scrunch them up, you leave them there, you go 5 minutes on each side, and then you pull them off and you let them rest. So I'm also gonna put on the sausage right now. And it's good that it's flaming up because you wanna get a little bit of char on those fajitas. We're gonna put our sausage on because we're all about speed cooking today. We don't got time, we got sound check. Whatever the case may be, recording, we gotta eat quick. So there you go, everything's on. You got your trash bowl right there. Everything's cooking. You're gonna close this lid and you're gonna let it go. Woo. One thing that I definitely want you to take notice to, you don't flip them, or at least I've been taught not to flip them until those juices start coming out on the top, which they are kind of, but not really there yet. So it's good, you don't wanna flip them. You just kind of want to let them keep doing their thing right there for a minute. It's very important to check your meat, but just don't flip it. Don't mess with it too much, you know what I mean? So let's give this another few minutes and we'll come back, see how it is. And you see those juices? They're coming out and they're ready to go. Oh my Lord. Some Texas fajitas for you. Boom. All right, we want to rotate our sausage a little bit. Oh yeah, there we go. So the veggies are getting soft. We're gonna give them another 5 minutes on each side of the flank steak, and then we're gonna take them off. We're gonna wrap them. These bad boys are still going, but it's cool because as soon as we take the meat off, we have to let it rest. You don't want to cut into your meat right away, because then all the juices that are being seared into your meat will all run all over the cutting board. That's not what you want to do. You want your fajitas to be real juicy. So you're gonna wrap them up for about 10 minutes to let them rest. While they're in there resting, everything else is gonna come off. We're gonna do some tortillas and everything's gonna be awesome. So come back here in a minute, I'm gonna show you what to do. All right, we're gonna pull the fajitas off and we're gonna let them rest while everything finishes up. My man Rob was in there right now and he cooked up some death rice, you know, to go along with our meal. So let's pull the fajitas and we'll let everything else finish up. Oh my God, if you could smell this right now. Look at that. So tender that it just falls apart. All right, we're gonna take these inside. We're gonna let them rest. Everything else is gonna go right in the center, right where it's hot. Let these sausages finish. And we're also gonna bring the peppers right into the middle of the heat. Let them finish up. We'll close that. We're gonna take the fajitas inside. Almost there, guys. All right, now the fajitas are inside resting. We're gonna pull off the sausage. We're gonna pull off the onions. And we're gonna put on the tortillas. It's all right if a little bit are come out a little crispier than others. There we go with the sausage. Let's check out these peppers. Oh yeah, that's what you want right there. The last part of our barbecue, which is the tortillas. Now I know for a fact that if you're not in South Texas, you're not getting tortillas this good. These are San Diego tortillas. We're gonna throw these on. Just saying, we like to use high quality tortillas now that we're, in South Texas right now. Couple minutes, and then we are ready to put together the last part of our meal. Everything's already off the pit. Sausage, fajitas have been resting. My man Rob cooked up some rice. We got the guac in the fridge. So last thing we need to do before we start plating is cut the fajitas. Now, there's a certain technique to cutting fajitas. You can't just walk up off the street and think you can cut fajitas. You actually have to know this technique. It was taught to me. I had to learn the hard way because if you cut them a certain way, they come out tough. You want them to basically be tender, pull apart. So I'm gonna show you guys how to do this. So we're gonna take one of these bigger pieces right here. We're gonna cut them right down the center. See how they just fall apart like that? Now you're gonna take this side and you're gonna turn them and you're gonna start cutting like this. Look at that. Perfect. All right, so now that I've taught you guys how to cut them up, I'm gonna cut up the rest of these, and then we're gonna make a plate for you. See you in a minute. Welcome back, guys. That guac is off the chain. Okay, so we're done with everything. We cut the meat. My man Rob made some rice, made some amazing guac. We have some grilled peppers. We got some chips. Here's the finished product. We got some fajitas with some grilled peppers on it. We got some sausage. We got some chips for the guac. We got some rice. We got some grilled peppers on the side. All for under 50 bucks. Feeds the whole band, the whole crew. Everybody's happy. We spent very little amount of money. So this is basically what we're about down here in Texas. This is family to us. We do this every weekend. We take this on the road with us, in the studio with us, anywhere we go. This is kind of a part of who we are, and it's been awesome sharing this with you guys. And I hope you guys get to eat some of this at some point. Either you cook it yourselves or maybe I'll go cook it for you. So I'm Marcus. That's Rob right there. That's Steven behind the camera. Thank you so much for checking everything out, man. We appreciate it. We're Shattered Sun. We're from a small town, Alice, Texas. We've all known each other since we were 13. You know what I mean?
Long time.
Yeah, we grew up with each other. Me and this guy and Henry practically lived next to each other. You know, when we were first coming into music.
We're literally neighbors.
Yeah, and this is something that we always wanted to do. I mean, we were all in cover bands, all coming up, and you know, to sum up what Shattered Sun is we're 6 small town guys that we've been given the opportunity to, you know, reach for our dreams, and that's what we're about, man. And we're just about making the most of our opportunities right now. Our new album, Hope Within Hatred, we've completed it, and it's going to be put out by Victory Records. And to me, I mean, speaking personally, it's one of those albums that, as you know, you're coming up as a musician and you play your music back, you always cringe, you know, at a few things. But to me, this was the album that we honestly took time to write and we took time to record, and it's probably one of the most proudest things I've ever done in my life. And I mean, that's how I feel about it personally, and I'm just very proud of it. I think it's an amazing album, and I hope it does great for us, and great for Victory Records also.
When it comes down to writing, usually Daniel and myself will get together and hammer out some riffs and some beats here and there, and from that, you know, we'll just email each other back and forth some, you know, MP3 or WAV files, and you know, fix our little kinks. And once we get our, you know, our set foundation, then we bring it into the band, and then, you know, everyone gets their own copy, so that way Joseph would, you know, play his bass with it, Henry could play his keys to it, you know, Marcus could go ahead and take it home and put his vocals on it, so that way we could do another version of our pre-pro.
From there we build. It's like a layer, you know what I mean? The foundation is set by Robin and Daniel, and then we pretty much take the time to perfect each and every part. And even when we get in there with all our parts, it's like building and building and building, and you know, the final product is usually something that's, you know, pretty amazing, because it's you know, weeks and months of work, you know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of time put in for one song. So.
Oh yeah. It's kind of like once you get on stage, it's almost hard to mimic those same feelings that you got in the studio when you were writing. You know what I mean? But the whole point of live is we live off of the crowd. We live off the crowd reaction, and you know that's what we thrive on. So it's very easy to adapt, you know, those songs live and make them just extreme as they are on the album. You know, there to playing in front of people, because it's ever since we started, you know, performing live was something that we always wanted to do, and we always cherished it to this day. That's the best part of being in this band, and that's just who we are.
So we even tried recording live.
Yeah, we even do a couple live recordings, so it's a unique experience. When I was writing the lyrics to this album, it was kind of a long process how we put together the album and everything, and when I started writing, I guess one thing that just kind of always gets to me is people's perception of, oh, if he's screaming, that automatically means, oh, they're devil worshippers, or oh, they don't have nothing real to say. Well, I actually had a message with this album, and I didn't want to talk about negativity or anything, you know, like that in light of everything that's going on in the world. I wanted to kind of empower people and empower kids, and I wrote about, you know, a lot of stories that I had read and seen of people just kind of getting their whole lives stripped away from them, but still found it in them, you know, to rise above and to, you know, find that hope within their hatred. And every single song on the album is a different story that embodies that same message.
Usually just stretch time.
Stretching? Yeah,
a lot of stretching, and
we're a little older. We're on the second half of our 20s, so you know, you can pull something on stage very easily. So we like to stretch and stretch after we play too. It helps alleviate soreness, you know, for the next gig. So
or we'll do a little huddle right before we play, and just to get, you know, each other motivated. Or
it's usually just somebody like yelling a few phrases, and everybody's just like, yeah.
Yeah, usually something off from Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
When Denzel Washington was just going off on trying to inspire the team. It's like that speech before every show.
Or Tom Cruise in Days of Thunder. Some of those movies, you know what I mean? Talladega Nights. Usually just scream a couple movie quotes, everybody yells, and boom, we run on stage. Forrest Gump's another one of them. Yeah. So, yeah, you know, just some fun stuff like that. Get everybody pumped up, everybody stretched out.
Good mood.
Yeah.
You don't want to play in a bad mood.
It's all about being in a good mood. 3 albums that I would take with me to a deserted island. Well, first and foremost, if I'm going to a deserted island, I'm going to take a lighter. First and foremost, but maybe a knife. I don't think I'd go to CDs just yet, but if I were to go to CDs, I would definitely have to say the Black Album from Metallica, Through the Ashes of Empires, Machine Head. Maybe a George Strait greatest hits album. Something like that. You know what I mean? You got to change it up a little bit. But yeah, that's what I would take.
Yeah, I mean, assuming that we have, you know, stuff to, you know, fish and hunt and all that stuff, you know, I'd rather get that before anything else. But albums, probably say, you know, a best of Cat Williams compilation. No, not Cat Williams, Cat Stevens, what we're talking about.
Cat Williams. I was like, well, we're going to laugh on
so
this.
Yeah, well, I mean, you want to be in a good mood too. So, comedy on tape. Cat Stevens. I would have to say, what was that? Wasting Light, that Foo Fighters album. That was a really great album.
Great album right there.
And if I had to say one more, I'm just going to go out there and just say That Thing You Do soundtrack.
So basically, we're gonna be jamming on this island.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna have a good time out there. Hopefully, we could take a pit.
Barbecue it up.
We could do some barbecue. You know, being on a deserted island with
and grill some fish.
with all our guys. You know, some good tunes. Sounds like a good time, man. George Strait. I won't say everybody in the band, but Most in the band. You know, we grew up in Texas. George Strait is kind of like a way of life down here. Our parents, you know what I mean? George Strait is this huge star now, but you know, our parents started seeing him when he was playing in the clubs, you know, to 15 people down here. So to see what he is now, he's pretty much the king of country music. It's something that's definitely a part of our home. You know what I mean? We jam it when we're on the road. I think a lot of people freak out sometimes.
Yeah.
But hey man, that's just a part of who we are, and we're not ashamed of that. We're from South Texas, and George Strait is a way of life down here.
Yeah, or even Selena. Selena's a big one. There's times, you know, we'll have our after show cocktails and get in the van or whatever. And then someone just pulls out the Selena, and it's like turns to the biggest party ever. So.
Oh yeah. It's always funny because we have to explain where we're from when we're outside of Texas. We have to tell people like, yeah, well, you know, we're from Corpus Christi, or we're from Alice, and they're like, where's that? And they're like, oh, have you ever seen the movie Selena? And they're like, oh yeah, J-Lo flip? Yeah.
James almost.
Yeah, we're like, yeah, we're from there, from Corpus Christi, South Texas. So it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I shaved a guy's eyebrow off one time at a show.
You just licked it.
Yeah.
Licked your hand and just.
The crowd was cheering me on, and he had a sign that said.
Well, he was homeless.
Was
so,
he homeless?
Yeah, he was a homeless guy. So, but he wanted this to happen.
Yeah, he had a sign that said to shave him and give him money. And one of my friends, you know, put a $20 bill in his bucket, and he started telling me, shave him, and he was like, shave my eyebrow. So I had a few drinks in me, and I was just like, all right. The crowd started rallying us up, so I shaved his eyebrow, and I did it with spit, and that was pretty bad. That was really weird.
Yeah, it was funny at the time. You know, we were a little bit inebriated, but then, you know, looking back, it's kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of bad. Now, you know what I mean? We were probably 17, 18 when that happened, so it was pretty funny at the time. Preparing for this tour is a little bit of a challenge. Obviously, we're not doing barbecues like this every day, or we're hitting the gym a lot, getting in shape. You know what I mean? You know, we stay pretty fit, but you know, we want to definitely bring our energy to that tour, especially this being our first real national tour. We really have a lot to prove. So we want to be in the best of shape when we do it. And
yeah, we don't want to die out after the third day or anything like that.
Yeah. So we're all rehearsed. You know what I mean? We rehearse 4 times a week. We go to the gym 6 times a week, and that's pretty much what we're doing leading up to taking off. Obviously, what's next for us is the Testament tour, but the release of our album, more importantly, Hope Within Hatred, will be in stores April 21st. Be in stores everywhere.
We have some music videos in circulation.
Yeah, we have a music video coming up. We got some other big tours coming up that we can't really talk about just yet. We're going to be doing the River City Rock Fest in San Antonio. That's a big deal for us every year. Going to be playing with Linkin Park this year.
My favorite, Hailstorm.
Yeah. In Flames.
Yeah.
So basically, what we're doing is, you know, we're hell bent on making a name for ourselves in this industry, and we're gonna do everything we can to do that, and hopefully we get there. All right, guys. Well, I'm Marcus.
I'm Rob
from Shattered Sun, and thank you very much for spending the day with us. We're glad we could show you some of our culinary traits, and pick up our album April 21st, Hope Within Hatred, in stores on Victory Records, and hopefully we'll see you soon and we can have some of this barbecue together.
Yep.
Cheers, man.
Take it easy.